JC, you've mentioned about the business of the airlines, and this is particularly something that I wanted to ask you because I come from a very conventional aviation background where we work with airlines and airports, helping them build new routes. So, how do you see this integration of your fleet into the fleets of the airline business? Um, is it more like extension of their routes in the region, in the city?
Yeah, fair and quite interesting because as we were starting with ADP, which is one of the biggest airport in Europe, Charles de Gaulle is the biggest one. So we were questioning ourselves about, is it the right way to think to sell to an airline a so small aircraft, to a people who, to a company which is working with 500 people, aircraft flying for 10 hours everywhere in the world, and speaking about CAS, CRASK, and so on, and one pilot, one seat, and maybe second version with one pilot, four seats. So what about this articulation? And agree with you, it's not easy to talk to the airline as a customer because they're saying, okay, what about the economic model? So for sure, there is this area where you have business travelers, wealthy people traveling first class, and you want to offer them the high level experience. So you fly them from Charles de Gaulle end-to-end ticket from Los Angeles to Paris city center, let's say like that. So it was the concept and it's still, but it's a part of the business. Second one will be more about the air taxi, about into the city, around the city, and not flying for 100 kilometers for 1 hour. Looking in the direction of the helicopter, even in the US, in New York, there is a move looking at the vertiport from the municipality and so on, talking about the noise, talking about the air pollution and so on. Could be a good use case because no noise, no air pollution. So we look from another angle, not flying so much because that means if you want to be profitable flying from the airport to the city center for an airline, you need a high intensity route. That means flying so much aircraft all the time with a lot of people on board. If you want to have something which is uh, economically viable, they need to change maybe their mind in the future. And that's why when people, OEM, are saying, okay, we have a massive order from this airline or this airline, from a national perspective, I got it. Okay. American airline is ordering to an American OEM for supporting the development and so on. But I do not see in, let's say, coming 5 years, so much aircraft flying for this purpose. I mean, from every OEM, more for touristic flight connection, and there is a new one which is quite amazing for the future, which is STOL plus eVTOL. Flying on a regional level. In France, you have so much small airport under used. Same in Germany, in Italy, and so on. People are struggling for traveling 200 kilometers from A to B. So flying an aircraft with 10 people, 15 people on board in the future, electric one or hybrid could be a good fit. And then on landing, you are using an air taxi for reaching your final destination. And it's more about this use case and thinking about end-to-end passenger journey because the integration also of this aircraft in an airport such as Paris or a big one in the US is quite new for everyone. A lot of questioning about how can we integrate exactly all this new way of flying into a conventional airport. And this is what we did, what we think about during Paris. And now we know how to do it with ADP.